As we welcome you to the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we say hello to everybody here for the High Velocity TV, here for week 9 of the iSNF Cup Series, here for the Sin City 200. Once again, here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race, and alongside me for the pre-race before she has to get into her virtual machine. Maria Ferris up here in the booth to count us down here while we get ready to finish out qualifying and practice.
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's having a good weekend so far. I know I am really excited to get this one underway here in just north of Las Vegas, right next to Nellis Air Force Base. I've actually visited this track a couple of times. I've not seen a race here, but that's definitely a bucket list for me. I'd like to see a race here one day, especially the spring race. But 134 laps on the table for us to enjoy tonight, 200 miles. And the stage breaks are 40 and 80 tonight, Christian, 60% fuel. We do have a 17x incident limit like we had last week. It worked pretty well, kept things at least a little bit more in check as far as amounts of cautions and incident. So, anything we can do to try to nip that in the bud, we're gonna try. So we're gonna do that again tonight. We have 4 extra sets of Goodyears, and we have no fast repairs. We have 3 green white checkers, and there's quite a few subs out there tonight. Not like a ton, but there are some. We have friends Brett Schneider. We welcome him back to the league. He was out on injury for the longest time, so it's good to see him back as a sub. He's in for Mark Gonzalez and that Penske equipment tonight. Austin Reedy was supposed to jump in for Gabe Ledger, but he got called into work, so the 8 car unfortunately will not be on track. Matt Metler is supposed to be running for Don Blazier tonight, so hopefully that car will show up. John Hopley in for Chris Van Mastrick. Fabricio Lamana is in for Joey Maines. Joey Maines is actually at Las Vegas right now as we speak. So hello to Joey. Hopefully he enjoys his time out there. Shane Johnson is in for Alyssa Sharp. My top 5 picks to win are Dylan Basin. And I think pretty much everybody else is just going to be battling for that P2 position, Christian. Charles Roberson, Justin L. Johnson, Thomas Flynn, and Will Austin I have on the board here as potential threats. And again, it's probably more like a 2 to 3 second threat at best. Dark horse would be Frankie DeAngelis. I call him Frankie D in the voice chat. Good guy. He usually likes to run up front. He just doesn't have the finishes to go with that, unfortunately. We are expected to stay the same solar position, which is Pacific time zone, because iRacing was not able to get the realism set for the weather to my liking. So we do have a fixed weather scenario, which we'll go over that now. It is about 87 degrees Fahrenheit out there. Makes the track temperature, I don't know, it's going to be on your screen. And the wind is kind of light at 5 miles an hour. And yeah, that's about it, man. I'm excited for this one. It's one of my favorite tracks on the circuit, probably my actual favorite. And the point standings, I did notice that Cody Meadows moved up yet another 5 or 6 spots from where he was last week with that win last week at Phoenix. So good for Cody. And it looks like there really wasn't a whole lot of changes in the top 4, but a couple of drivers out of provisional. So as they miss races, we'll continue to drop. I know Emily's got a hole to dig out of because she missed a lot of races and she's out of provisionals, and a few others. We do have a few new driver assignments, actually a couple of new driver assignments. Terrence Preston will be taking over the Spire Motorsports 7 Chevrolet for the rest of the season, and Rodney Roberts will be taking over the track house number 88 for the rest of the season. So good luck, Christian. Hopefully, it's a good race. I know we're going to try to put on a good show, and hopefully, you enjoy it as well. And we'll go from there.
We appreciate your help up in the booth here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to Vegas. One of my favorite tracks to not only the race on but call. So hopefully you guys can put on a good show for us at home and see who can come out here on top here from the Sin City.
And before I let you go, I do want to mention Bob Wyckoff will be, this is his 200th career iSNF Cup Series start specifically. So congratulations to Bob. Thanks, Bob, for being part of iSNF all these years and being loyal and dedicated to my league. And 200, that's nothing to shake lightly. So we really appreciate you, Bob, and look forward to many more races to come.
Definitely agree. Thankful for Bob. Been here longer than I ever have. So love to see him continue to show up and show out. And he's been
That's
looking
it.
pretty fast this season. Hopefully he can continue to build on that.
Exactly. Good luck to him. All right.
Well, we thank Rhea Paris for coming up and in the booth. She gets ready to prepare for Vegas tonight here in the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford Dark Horse Mustang. She talked about, as she said in the practice. I mean, here during practice, it's one of her favorite tracks and looking to build and get a good finish tonight. But we'll go ahead and take a look at some of your fastest drivers on track right now. Currently, Nicholas Johnson in this Joe Gibbs number 20, top of the boards, with a best lap of 29.9. So a good lap for him. A lot of drivers out, getting ready for qualifying. Greg Lautenslaughter, remember, had a good race last week. Thomas Flynn, obviously top 5 guy, day in and day out. Will Austin up here in the top 4. Chris Otto, P5 in practice. You'll see Cody Meadows, Justin L. Johnson, and 2 Penske Fords back there, 6th and 7th. Mark Roberg, Bob Wyckoff, actually, P9. We were just talking about him in practice. Fabricio Lamana, I was at the top 10. You'll see the rest of your drivers scrolling across the top of your screen. Get ready to get our qualifying set. Yeah, obviously something to talk about. Dylan Basin making a one-off start here in the number 67 machine. And we know how quick Dylan can be, a potential Coke driver candidate in that number 67 machine. So it's going to be hard to if he does actually show up in a race. We see him in the session right now. Has not set a lap time yet, with just a little over a minute left in the session. But if he does decide to stick it out and race tonight, he's going to be hard to beat tonight. It doesn't matter where we go. He is going to be a contender every race we go to. I've raced with him personally here in the iSNF Cup Series before. I was tasked to come up here, call the races up here in the HVTV booth. So Dylan's going to be quick if he could show up and show out. But a couple of notables not in the race. Rhea talked about Frank DeAngelis being a favorite, her dark horse pick tonight. I don't see Frank in the session at all yet, with 26 seconds left in practice. Obviously, has 5 minutes to get into the session. Might have to start from the back. I don't see Frank in the session at all right now. We do have 33 cars in the session, so and obviously we had talked about probably no 8 machine showing up tonight for RCR Racing, Ritual Childers Racing. Obviously tried to get some guys in there, and kind of the dominoes fell, and they just could not find a driver to get in to that position. So unfortunate for that, but just have to continue to move on. That's just the way it is sometimes. But as you see, ticker countdown, practice is over. Nicholas Johnson, fastest here from Las Vegas. We'll get ready to get into qualifying here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we'll see who we can find here on the track. No, we haven't talked about them all pre-race. Go ahead and go on board with the 12. Cody Meadows, last week's winner from Phoenix, his first win on the season. That came last week there at Phoenix. His second oval win on the season. Has 4 wins, 2 on the road, now 2 at the oval style tracks here. Continue to ride on board with this 12 machine and see what he can do here in qualifying. Cody coming into 3 and 4 for his first time lap. Tries not to cut the apron on that first lap. Currently Cody top of the board, the 30.414. Currently keeps it right now over some, pretty quick drivers. Dylan Basin currently back there in P3. Here comes Thomas Flynn to the front. Thomas runs a 30.07. Look at that, Dylan Basin out on track, and that's probably not the best way he wants to start the broadcast here. Parked perpendicular to the track, but Thomas Flynn continues to keep that race, that pull. Dustin Johnson coming out of pit road here in the Penske 22. Another contender to potentially race for this pole position. We'll see a little bit of a different paint scheme on the 22 that we're used to seeing. Craig Slaughter goes P2. Good lap for him in the 77 to 30.12. See Justin come out. You need to try to get a good lap here. Try to go to maybe your tower to see if it'll show you your guys' fastest time. And it always has an issue here. In qualifying for some reason, SDK just having an issue. So see if we can maybe switch back over to your scrolling ticker. Well, I guess we'll have to do this by ear here, but right now, Justin Johnson, 23, I think that was kind of a warm-up lap for him in the 22 machine with that 32.6. See if he can improve here, coming here across the stripe to complete his second lap. P8, 30.3. Decent lap out of that number 22, Will Austin. Parking that machine, probably going to try another run at that. Chris Otto top of the board. 30.03. We're trying to grab him, and he jumped to the board before we could grab him. So good lap by Chris. He's been really good at these qualifying here lately, and showing it off once again. Rodney Roberts in the number 88 machine, currently P9. And in the green here for this lap. .4. So not quite fast enough to improve on that time. With 36 seconds left in qualifying. No one else is going to be able to set a lap, so that will be kind of the field set for right now. You'll see that 88 parked there on track. We ready to get ready to go here. 134 laps here from Las Vegas, as you'll see the tickers continue to count down. Like quite a few people decide not to set a lap time here from Las Vegas. There we go. Having a little bit of issue with SDK today, but We'll wait on these drivers to get ready to go green here. We'll allow these drivers you see right there on the right side. Those little tiny little cars. Those are the cars you'll be seeing on track tonight from Las Vegas. We'll wait on these guys to get the cars kind of set up and tuned up the way they need to. They can, something I really want to emphasize is that these drivers can do a lot to make sure that these cars are going in the way they need to, but we do see most of the drivers out on track. A notable to talk about, and we're going to try to shout out the chat as we can. We appreciate the Ruffle Puff, another Cody Meadows fan, but also notable Emily Urace racing with the cast tonight, and we'll see where she starts out tonight as we get ready to get your starting lineup here, presented by High Velocity TV. Chris Otto in P9. P9. And the number 9 will be your pole sitter with that 30.03 alongside Thomas Flynn, that Hendrick teammate, back there in P2. Starting to go through is going to be Craig Lautenslaughter in that number 77 alongside Cody Meadows, P4. Emily Reyes in the cast and all will qualify P5. And that number 19 machine alongside her AGR teammate. Charles Robertson will qualify P6. You'll see Fabricio Lamana filling in for Joey Maines. He'll be P7. And alongside him, Mark Roberg in number 43. Rodney Robertson, 88, will be P9. I think at the top 10. Justin Johnson in the number 22 machine. Philip Manzo. Phil coming back, and we're happy to see him here after to overcome open heart surgery. Really scary stuff. We're really happy to see Philip back here in the 10, in his car. Really happy to see him back here in the iSNF Cup Series. But he qualifies P11. Good qualifying lap for him. Running out the top 12 will be Parker Strander in the number 42. P13 goes to Blake Holt in the number 45 Toyota Camry. And Rhea Ferris, P14. She seemed really enthusiastic about this race. Hopefully she can drive her way up through the field. Chris Bishop in the 71 going to be P15 alongside Steven Sear in the 5. Jason Steptoe in the 23. Kyle Williams in the 4 going to be P18 and running out the top 20. John Hopley running in that 38 machine. And Dylan Basin, P20. He's going to have to drive his way through the field. Did not have the qualifying he wanted. Jeff Weimer in the 60 will be P21 alongside Scott Trusty. Back there in P22. And Terrence Preston, Eugene Thorne. I think out your top 24. Further on back, these drivers, not the best qualifying laps, but we'll have to deal with it. Franz back there in the 2 alongside Shane Johnson in the 54. And the rest of the field decided not to set a lap time. Will Austin in the number 3. Chuck Cobb in the 6. Brian Treadwell, David Anderson, Mike Iskandar, Nick Johnson, Eric Jorgensen, and Bob Wyckoff in the 41, making his 200th start here in the iSNF Cup Series. Back there in P34. Look at your race weather for tonight's race here from Las Vegas 40 Speedway. We brought this up in the pre-race, but static weather for Vegas, not something we're used to seeing here. Obviously, Rhea really likes to keep it really realistic here, but couldn't do what she wanted to, so it's going to be static, 87 degrees, but 110 degree track temp. Very slick tonight for these drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can navigate through this hot and abrasive track temp. We get ready to go green here from Las Vegas. It's going to be 2 Hendrick Chevys. Going to lead us to green there is Chris Otto. Thomas Flynn, Cody Meadows, Craig Lautenschlager. So it's going to be a Chevy front 3. And then that forward, last week's winner in that 12. We get ready to go green as we're going to hand the race off the Barney to Flagman. And we're going to be green here for 134 laps. Coming across the stripe for the first time, Chris Otto takes your race lead away. Side by side for the P2 position. That's the 77. Greg Lautenschlager making the move. Going to take over that P2 spot over Thomas Flynn in that 24. You'll see Cody Meadows behind there, P4. Potentially reckon caution will wave. We'll once again close out of Discord. As we're continuing to see the struggles here with the blinking. Once again, lots of cars on the track. It's really hard for the system to hold on to stuff, but I do have some good news here for the obviously a frustrating blinking here. Here in the next week, we are trying to get a new CPU and motherboard for this broadcasting PC. So hopefully that will help with the blinking and you know, make the at least here the quality here for the SDK side of things a little bit better. Obviously, we don't have these issues with the other leagues with ATVO. SDK is just a little bit more demanding on the computer here, and trying to do our best here. But caution now already here early on lap number 3. Now coming to 4. It looks like the 24 potentially, the 42. I mean, a Parker Strainer involved. Obviously, we're not going to be able to go back and look at it with how the blinking started here as the caution waved. But caution already out here on within lap 5. What I'm trying to say. Like potentially Emily Race involved in this. Potentially, I mean, she's starting in the top 5 and all the way back. I don't know. Maybe she asked for Neil Will. Remember, she is racing with a cast tonight. But potentially just ask for Neil Will. That would make sense, right? I think number 19. Camry up there. Dylan Basin. Remember, qualified P20 up to P8 somehow. Must have got through the carnage. We're doing everything we can to try to close out of stuff to negate whatever this is going on, everybody. So go ahead and just completely leave out of Discord. We do apologize. So we're doing everything we can up here in the HVTV booth, trying to fix this issue. I think we have everything under control now. We'll go back trackside for the time being. Should be getting the 1 to go here, so we'll be double fouling up one more time. Once again, we do apologize for the blinking. We're trying our best. I've turned off everything that we can. Clearly, the sim, OBS studio, and SDK. That's all that we have up right now. Not even using my Elgato Stream Deck to control the replays and stuff right now. Everything is shut off to try to make this as watchable for you guys as we can. Ready to go back in here, Chris Otto. The 77 of Lautenschlagers. We ready to go back in. Side by side for the P2 position, Thomas Flynn gonna jump out in front. There comes the 48. Fabricio, look at look at Hendrick Motorsports go 1, 2, 3. Trying to hold on here, but look at that. Dylan Basin already up inside the top 5. Gonna jump back up in line. Gonna go up and run this top side, top of 3 for that number 67 machine. 77 with an aggressive block there up top though. Gonna force Dylan to try to make something else happen. Dylan will get clear here. He'll move himself into the P4 position. Down in the 1 and 2. We've been having issues just on this side of the track when it comes to the blinking. Back there, 3 and 4. Down the front stretch, it seems okay. Side by side for the P3 position. Dylan Basin trying to run down the 77. They're doing a good job holding them back for now. To the top 4 breakaway basically here. And notice these Chevys. Obviously the Spire machine back there in P3, that's Craig. It's still aligned with the Hendrick camp there. I don't know how much they're communicating with each other, but got a tail full of Dylan Basin as he's gonna try to make the move underneath. Once again, the 77 still can't make the pass work. Side by side back there, that's Cody Meadows. Making a move on Fabricio. It seems like right now, with how the tires are and everything else, remember, racing the lap 40. I think this is that kind of time where you have to settle down and just kind of sit and wait on whatever needs to happen, right? Some guys are going to push and they're going to use their stuff up, and that's when you pounce, right? Cody's going to try to make it middle 3. Not going to make it work there, the 88. Rodney Roberts trying to put the hole there. If I'm Cody, just be a little bit patient here. Obviously, he knows he's got a fast piece underneath him. Pick him off one by one. Don't be aggressive and try to take him off, try to take him all at once. I would work with the 48, yeah, to get around the 88, and that's exactly what he did. And go down, try to run down that 48 right in front of you. Fabricio with a really good start to this race here. Put himself inside the top 5. I mean, Now we know for Fabricio, when he can hit his marks, can run up front. He's showing it right now. Looking pretty racy right now. Not 48, but you'll see the 12 of Cody Meadows make the pass. Put himself up inside the top 5. They're racing for the race lead. Dylan Basin has gotten around the 77. He's gotten around the 24. Put himself inside the top 2. Got to run down the 9 machine. You see Chris Otto going up there and ripping the top side. Basin electing to stay on that bottom white line there. Got to save a little bit of tire, I presume. We knew that Dylan was going to do this. Remember, he started back there in P20, all the way up inside P2 already. 17 laps complete. Analytically, that is a position every lap that he's gained. Trying to close in a little bit for this 9 machine. Seven is there. Cruzado trying to run this top to try to be a little bit defensive, but now I think the 67 just got a little bit more pace. He can go down there and rip the bottom side. He'll clear the 9. 9 will try to do a crossover, but here comes the dirty air. 9's not going to be able to get there. Just like that, Dylan Basin, 20th the first here in the first 20 laps. One of the key drivers driving their way through the field. The 51, Scott Trusty, up 15 spots from where he started. Scott doing a good job. In this number 51 machine, you'll see Will Austin 2 spots back. Up 18 positions where he started. Right behind him, Eugene Thorne up 14. Trying to hold on, but Dylan Basin has already started to drive away. Battle for the P3 position. Thomas Flynn, Greg Lautenschlager battling it out. Ooh, tight race there at 77. Thought he was clear, not quite, but he will clear out of 3 and 4. The 77, that P3 position. 24 is trying to stick his nose in there. Not going to make it work. Everybody's starting to get a little bit spread out here. Chris Otto trying to keep up with the race leader, Dylan Basin. And it's interesting to see because Dylan has been really dedicated to running this bottom side. I think it's going to save the tires a little bit better. Chris trying to run this top side. Trying to use this momentum to stay up, to keep up with the 67 on the straights. We can definitely tell that the 67 is a little bit better in the corners. He can just carry a little bit more speed. But Otto, as long as he runs the top side, can continue to keep the momentum up and keep up. But you saw right there, the 67 move up. and take away that lane from the 9 machine. Now it's forced, you know, Chris to move around here and try to find something else to keep up. I think that Dylan saw that the 9 was making some speed up there, ripping the wall, said, I'm going to go up there, give you a little bit of dirty air, keep you behind me, at least keep you enough behind where I feel safe, to where I could go back and run whatever line I need to. We'll continue to see Basin try to pull away. Everybody's starting to get spread out, single file. Cody Meadows, caution waves. Like the 10, Phil Manzo making his comeback here in the iSNF Cup Series after having to take some time off due to some health issues. If we can find what happened to Phil here in this number 10 machine. It just looks like got loose on his own. Got up and did the 42. And spin it down into the grass. I'm surprised that they called that a caution, but let's see Parks. Yeah, he's just sitting here in the grass. I'm surprised that got called, but caution will wave here. And we'll restack everybody back up one more time. This will be an interesting call because now, obviously, we know we're getting that stage caution on lap 40. You see some people come down pit road now and try to flip the stage. See someone potentially like a Basin who will come down and flip the stage, get the track position to start stage 1. We'll have a little bit older tires, but no. Like here comes Chris Otto. He's going to flip the stage. No, he won't. Faked me out pretty good, so. Everybody wants to keep their track position while they have it, which I don't blame them for. We've seen how hard it's been to pass throughout the whole race. I don't blame them for wanting to keep it and trying to keep the track position, even if it does set them up a little bit worse here coming into stage 2. We do have some takers, though. It looks like 24th on back, Terrence Preston, Phil Manzo, Kyle Williams, Parker Strenwit, Rhea Ferris, Chris Bishop, and a number of drivers behind them. Going to come down pit road. I think these are the guys who will flip the stage, who will stay out at the end of stage 2. To get the track position at the start, and then hopefully they can hang on. Remember, I don't really mind them doing this because, remember, it's the way that caution laps work and stuff. When we go to stage 2 is going to technically be shorter than stage 1 because we have to race 2 lap 40 to get the stage, right? Versus, you know, in stage 2 where we have to race the lap 80. But remember, under caution, we'll you know, loose about probably 5 or so laps. We'll go grid with around lap 45 to start stage 2 technically, right? And that's, you know, 5 less laps that these guys have to race. 5, you know, less laps that they have to worry about having to fight off, you know, these guys with the fresher tires. Looks like Shane Johnson decided to come up in the chat. Looks like his race was done. I think he got caught up in that first wreck that we unfortunately couldn't see. Tough break for Shane, and we feel bad for him and that whole 54 team. Obviously, that's technically Alyssa Sharp's car. But Alyssa hasn't just been able to make all the starts that I think she wanted to, and obviously Shane filling in for the 54 this week, and feel bad for Shane and that whole 54 team. You know, it can show up and have speed, but it's not the day for them. We also have some people cheering for Chris Otto in the chat. Really cool to see that as well. But we get ready to sack back, everybody back up. We'll be back green here. So hopefully end stage 2, Dylan basically just back to green. Like, yeah, for real. I definitely agree. You know, that's a throwback right there. SQK3. It's been a long time since I've heard that name. I appreciate you, if you're still watching, coming up here and watching the broadcast of that up here. As the iSNF Cup drivers continue to try to set sail here at Las Vegas. And once again, we do apologize for the blinking at the stars. Everybody's kind of put together here once everybody starts to get, you know, slinkied around and start to find their own pace, right? We've noticed that the blinking has started to subside, but we are going to put in some money into the network to maybe upgrade the CPU. We should be doing that within in the week to make sure that hopefully this doesn't happen again. It doesn't continue to happen, at least, so. As we're actually going out of our way to unplug hardware from this computer to see if that might help with it. We're trying our best here, chat. Side by side for P2. Otto. Launchslager back here in the P2, P3 position, trying to duke it out. Caution will wave. Wreck it in the back. Looks like Jason Steptoe potentially involved. While we get the caution, we're going to go ahead and take a step away just for a second. We're just trying to figure out some ways to try to figure out a way to make this a little bit more watchable for you fans at home. So I think we're confident enough that we could potentially come back trackside. We see some drivers down pit road. People staying out. I want to see the UI here. Let's take that off real quick. There we go. Turn off as much as we can, and there's not really a whole lot more we could turn down without having to get out of the sim. We'll do that potentially after stage. Actually, that probably was stage. If the blinking continues, we'll probably try to get out of the sim. There's some things that we can do a hard reset on. That we could potentially try out here after stage 2. Take a full course commercial break and try to get back into the sim as quickly as we can. But we're trying our best to make things a little bit better for you guys here. And in my opinion, it is really just the SDK. It does take a lot more performance out of the CPU versus some other software that we use mostly on the broadcast here. So we'll see everybody. Back up. It looks like we do have a little glitch with our timing and scoring. It says Eugene Thorne in the 34 out, but he's the race leader. So hopefully that will sort itself out once we go green here. But it'll be his teammate in the 4, Kyle Williams, and Eric Jorgensen in the 16, going to lead us to green. We'll hand our race off back over to that number 4, Kyle Williams, as we get ready to start stage 2. Kyle Williams out to the race lead, the 20, and Nicholas Johnson up to P2, and Dylan Bassett up there inside the mix there for that top 3. He's going to drop below underneath the apron there. Going to be side by side with 20. He'll clear the 20 for that P2 position. Dylan underneath the 4. Jason already back to the front, very aggressive to get back that race lead, and he's going to try to get away here quickly as he can. And look at the stat line: 9 starts, 5 wins, 5 and 7 top 10s out of this driver. I mean, he did this. Dylan has always been special here in iSNF Cup Series, but he's not been just here. Everywhere he goes, he's going to be a contender. So doesn't matter how good the drivers are. I mean, that's how good this number 67 is, and how good this driver behind the 67 is. His caution will wave one more time here from Las Vegas. It's like Cody Meadows involved. John Hopley, Fonz as well caught up in this. We'll see if the replay will let us see what happened with the 12 machine. Like the 88 putting a bumper to the 12. And he'll be done for the night. And then I think just some more collateral damage from everybody else. But yeah, 88 being aggressive there. Puts the bumper to the back of the 12, and around he'll go. He's done for the night. Cody Meadows out early from Vegas. And you got to feel bad for Cody. That's happened to me plenty of times when I was in the car. Some people just being aggressive, and instead of being patient and trying to get around you respectfully, they'll just put the bumper to you and just blatantly dump you. So, you know, Cody goes from that high of getting a podium 2 weeks ago at Indy and the Brickyard, and then wins at Phoenix, and now back down the back down the surface where he fortunately gets wrecked tonight from Vegas. I hate to make it sound like this, but on the bright side, the more cars I wreck tonight, the less the blinking should happen, right? Less cars we have on track, the more opportunities we have to put on a better show for you guys at home. But we don't want guys, coming, ending their race, unfortunately. And we'd rather have a blinky show and having all these drivers be in contention than have to field out and the broadcast looking halfway decent. So. But we do have one more guaranteed caution on lap 80, the end stage 2. I think we'll be getting some more cautions before we get there. And this is just the characteristics of Vegas, right? Especially in this Cup car. We might ride on board with Dylan Basin if the sim will allow us to. It's practically full throttle, especially if you have the cleaner air. I mean, you have to lift a little bit out in 1 and 2. Like on the entry of 1 and on the entry of 3, but besides that, you're really pushing this thing the whole race as hard as you can. There's no really, not saving, right? And when you're in the gas that much, it makes it a little bit harder to pass, unless you get these long green flag runs. But obviously, we've seen the patience run out a couple times here, and cautions breed cautions. Ferris barely getting out of pit road. I'm in front of the pace car. Once again, you see everybody stacked up side by side, 2 by 2, as we get ready to go green. We see the lights off on the pace car. Take the hard left turn down pit road. Will be a Toyota lockout for that front row. Will be Dylan Basin, Nick Johnson, Craig Launchslider, Kyle Williams, and that Ford machine will be your fast 4. So you're ready to go back green here to start lap 48 of 130 here from Las Vegas. Great job by Dylan Basin. Josh will immediately be thrown once again. I think Phil, yeah. Thought I saw someone back there spinning. I think Phil might have spun the tires here. On the start, we'll see what happened to Philip here, back here in the 10 machine. Just a little bit of a stack up. Fortunately, Phil gets hooked up the track by the 42. Parker gets him turned around here, and the caution will wave once again here from Las Vegas. See him navigate to the back part of the field once again. Tough break for the 10 right there. And really hard to when you're in those positions, right? But I'll say this: I don't remember if it was him or if there's a car ahead of them, but they were really lagging back, weren't really caught up, and it makes it harder for everybody behind that guy who's lagging back to really get a good jump on it, right? On the starts, and that's what causes those crashes. That you'll see that guy catch up, the cars behind catch up. Usually, it's the leader of the or whatever. It's usually that guy who lags back who catches up and has to check up for the car in front, and it's an accordion effect. And unfortunately, people like Philip is the person are the people who get, the worst end of this deal there. And I know that iSNF has been a little bit more strict on that, right? And I don't know if they're going to penalize some of these guys who are laying back, but I know they have been a little bit more harsh on trying to make that not happen as much anymore. Because there used to be a time where that would happen almost every other caution was from a stack up, from a restart, because people are lagging back trying to get a good jump or just trying to get out of the way, whatever it is. And we definitely don't want that. Get a 34 up in front there. He should probably, I presume he's getting a lucky dog here. Eugene throwing in that 34 machine. There he goes. I believe he's only a lap down. Really doesn't show us, so I'll have to see when on this tower to see where that will put him. No, Eugene's 3 laps down. That should probably it was either 4 laps down now, 3 or 3 coming to 2 laps down. So lucky break for the 34, but still got a lot of work to do here. Get himself back in the fight. Everybody should be starting to double file up here. Ready to go green once again here from Vegas. This time it's going to be a Chevy Toyota front row. You'll see Dylan Basic continue to keep the lead. Greg Lotschlager took away that P2 position away from the 20 of Nick Johnson, but we'll see Rodney Roberts up there in the P4 position. He'll round out your fast 4. We'll see the pace car once again. Take the hard left turn down Perry Road. Dylan Basin going back into the Echo Park restart zone. We're green once again here from Las Vegas. Side by side for the P2, now P3 position as the 77 tries to hold on. Here comes the 20 of Nick Johnson, going to be side by side for P2. Going in at 3 and 4. Nick has been fast all season, and he's been aggressive all season as well. Trying to keep the track position. We'll still see 2 by 2 for the second place spot. Nick not being able to clear the 77 quite yet. The 77 will hold tough on the top side. This is exactly what Dylan Basin wants to see in his rearview mirror. Oh! 20 I'm going to put the 77 in the wall there for the spot. Definitely put the 77 in a bad place there, but 20 will clear for the P2 position. You'll see right there, side by side for P3. That's the 88. Rodney Roberts trying to make a move on the 77. Oh, you see the 19 back there? That's Emily Urace up into the outside wall. '77 will keep the spot for now. Right up in front of the 88 machine. Justin Johnson in the back trying to drive his way through the field. Decent qualifying lap for him, but not been up there at the front like I think he wanted, obviously. You know, Justin is really good at these mile and a halves. See him get around the 3 of Will Austin for now. Ooh, a little loose out of the 22 there. Back up to the front. Dylan Basin continues the lead. Doing a really good job painting that white line. Right on board with Dylan for a lap. Try to get him next lap. We're trying to find. There it is. Camera for him, but Dylan, you know, he knows how to paint a pretty line here. Really anywhere, but especially here at Vegas. Go on board with him and see what he's doing in the car. This is exactly what I was talking about. You know, some drivers talk about how they don't really like the seesaw on the wheel, but it's not really that big of a deal. You see Dylan, I mean, one of the best we've seen here in iSNF ever. He's seesawing on the wheel into the corner, and that's all the seesawing is doing is it's just trying to feel what the grip is like in the car. See a lot of people that keep their wheel completely smooth, right? You'll see like these smooth inputs, right? You can tell right now that Dylan's pushing. You see him downshifting into fourth in the corner to try to get a little bit more speed. And through center off. You'll see this upshift here right around the start-finish line. And back down into fourth here. This car is slowed up. About halfway down the back, you'll see him shift back up into fifth. It's just a rhythm right now. Ooh, saw him get a little upset there out of the corner. Not enough to do anything though. You'll see him continue to pull away for the rest of the field. Almost a second gap there. Back to the P2 driver of Nick Johnson. Nick, you know, I would say one of the fastest drivers who consistently show up here in the Cup Series. He's definitely done a better job than some of these other faster drivers at keeping his car on the track. So that's why he's up there in the points. I would say him, Nick Johnson, Justin Johnson, and 24 of Thomas Flynn, probably the best at getting the most they can out of the car for the most part. You're starting to see the 77 back up to the rest of the field here. 88 of Rodney Roberts all over the back end of that 77. See the 22 as well. Starting to reel his way into the fight. See him side by side with Thomas Flynn back there for the P4 position. For the P5 position, my apologies. He'll clear that 24. Coming to 15 to go in the stage. I think Nick Johnson's actually starting to back up to these guys because here comes the 77 of Lautenschlager. He's going to clear the 20 machine. Let himself up into P2. Here comes the 88 with the run off the top. He's going to try to probably make a move here in the 1 and 2 if he can get there. Here comes the 88 of Rodney Roberts here around for the P3 position. Nick's starting to fade here as we round out stage 2. Ooh, really it's dicey there for the 22 and the 88. Dustin was there. 88 turned across his nose. Luckily they didn't. That could have been a lot worse. That 22 forcing, being kind of forced to check up there. That's going to cost him a spot. That 24 used the top side to get back around the 22. But I'll put Thomas Flynn back up inside the top 5. Thomas Flynn almost contact with the 88. We're looking 3, almost 4 wide here into turn 2. Here comes Chris Otto. 3 wide move here on the bottom. Really overdrove the corner. Caution waves. Like Terrence Preston might have had an issue. See the 7 machine. Gonna be in this 7 full time here in the 4. Yeah, just dumps him. Fortunately, Terrence doing a decent job mitigating the damage there. Probably have a little bit of right rear damage, but optional wave here. We go back in, we'll be under 10 to go here in stage 2. Once again, we're in that spot where drivers want to flip the stage. They can. The Gimli race going to be the only driver who takes the hard left turn on the pit road out of, the top 20 cars. Be Mike Iskandar. Pulling your thumb back, basically coming down pit road. And I don't blame it. I mean, you're already in the back. Might as well come in here, top off on fuel. Maybe take tires. You'll see the one take tires here. Maybe he is going to flip the stage if he gets the opportunity to. Dylan Basin.
and it continues to lead the way. And I wish I could say I was surprised, but I knew when I saw Dylan Basin on the entry list. Didn't matter where he started; he was gonna make his way up to the front. So. Lights are off on the pace car. Means we'll be going green this time by. Once again, it'll be the 77 and the 67 front row, and it'll be the 20 and the 88 back there and running out through fast four. The 200 teammates rounding out that row three. Ready to go green here? 9 to go in stage 2. Great job by Dylan Basin. 3 wide in the back. 3 wide for this P3 position. So, Rickon in the back. That was Bob Wyckoff. Yeah, it looks like Bob on the side of the 54. And unfortunately, I think he got spooked. And then got turned down the track by the 19. 19 with a huge hit in the inside wall. Potentially racing any damage for Emily and that number 19 team. Looks like she did. She does have meatballs, so. Getting some news now. If you guys are baseball fans, the Athletics beat the Orioles 12-1 here on this Saturday afternoon. So if you're an Athletics fan, good news for you. If you're a Orioles fan, get used to it. I mean, we're I think the Kansas City has been used to losing for a little bit now. Obviously, had a good run back there a couple of years ago, but has went back down into the slumps. So. At least you guys have Bobby Witt Jr., right? So, 2 and 2 to go. 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 2 and 2 I'm not the biggest baseball person myself, so you guys start talking baseball in the chat, I'm not gonna really have an idea what's going on. Like, for instance, the only thing I know about the Athletics is that I believe they were trying to go to Vegas, but if they went to Vegas, they weren't allowed to keep the Athletics name because it's too generic of a name for them to be allowed to trademark. Something like that, I believe. It'll be interesting to see. Now I'll be coming back to green with 5 laps to go in stage 2. Who's going to try to be aggressive to maybe take this stage win away from Dylan Bass? Remember, Dylan's not racing full time. He's here, and I believe this is a one-off for Dylan as well. But who's going to be aggressive, potentially take away these stage points? Away from this number 67 as we're back green here. 5 to go in stage 2. Andy Roberts going to try to put the fight to this 67 machine as they're battling 2 by 2 back there, third on back. '77 will secure that spot. Here comes the 22 back there side by side with the 20. He'll clear, get that P4 spot away. We're looking at this battle for the lead. Mason, Roberts, duking it out here for this lead here. The end stage 2. Get those precious stage points. In the back, Nicholas Johnson trying to hold on. Contact with the 24. We've seen Nick be aggressive to try to keep these spots here at late in these stages. Time and time again, as we see side by side for P2. Here comes the 77. Craig doing a good job. Driving his way back up through the field, but still not being able to make the pass on this 88. Looking almost 2-3 wide here for P2. Justin backs out of it wisely. 77 going to drive it in here into the corner. You're going to clear the 88. He'll take over the P2 spot. Oh, the 9! He's going to go around in the back. See if we can get a visual on what happened with Chris Otto. If Tim will let us see what happened here. I think he just got loose on his own. Hit the wall. Yeah. Grabs a couple cards with him. That's a 51. It looks like the 3 of Will Austin. And out in stage 1. Dylan Basin gets it. Greg will finish P2. Rodney, Johnson, Williams, Nick Johnson, Thomas Flynn, Charles Roberson, Mike Iskandar, and Will Austin. Not your top 10. They'll get the stage points. End stage 2. Charles. Very quiet season here in season 11. Had a couple of good runs at the start of the season, but it's been quiet ever since, really. We knew we were probably going to get some linking with Payroad. There's just so many cars stacked together here. trying to make pit stops. So I figured we were probably gonna get this. That's why we were going to the blimp static view. It's like 2 drivers did decide to stay out. The 4 of Kyle Williams and the 16 of Jorgensen. We saw this tragedy earlier in the race. These 2 short pitted. So Kyle Williams pitted on that lap 69 caution. And Eric Jorgensen pitted on the last caution. They're on lap 73. Well, with stage 2 underway here, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here. And, actually, no, 1 to green, we probably won't. We will have to wait here. We'll take a commercial break there in stage 3. We'll probably do some HVTV nonstop here. So you guys don't miss a thing. See Marcus Canard back there, right outside the top 10. A good run for that one machine. See what he could do here. And drive his way up into a good finish. All right, see the lights are off on the pace car going through 3 and 4. We'll hand the race back, lead back over to Kyle Williams. Eric Jorgensen. We're ready to start stage 3. No more guaranteed cautions from here on out, so we'll see what we can do here. Is the 4 will lead us back to green. So jump by the 4, but here comes the 67 as the 16 goes around in the back. Caution will wave. Jameson there, we saw it live right there. The 16 just gets loose out of the corner. I don't think he got anybody else involved, but caution will wave, and like he's still sitting there. You know, he's getting back going now. Like their left front tire completely broken off that thing. Does have a meatball. There goes the left front fender as well. Probably race over for that 16. You see that left front tire immobilized. That'll probably be 16 team packing it up a little bit early here from Vegas. We'll see. He comes down Pit Road. Oh, I have to back it up a little bit. Oh, wrong way. There he goes. See him moving the wheel in there, trying to fill out the steering. Hey, keeping it in there for now. The driver's on Pit Road, Blake Willett. Oh, there he is, the 45. That Kurt Busch throwback, if you want to call it that. But I'll go back up here to the race for the lead. The lights on the pace car. Should be going off this time. Bye. Currently have, what, 19 cars on the lead lap, I think what I saw. 19, 18 cars on the lead lap, so. Remember, we showed up with 34. So, we have about half the field now left here that's still on the lead lap trying to race to get a good finish. We're just right past halfway here in week 9 of the iSNF Cup Series here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Sin City 200. Williams continues to lead some laps here. We stayed out here with some pit strategy. Has about 11 lap older tires than the rest of the field. Trying to hold off that 67 to Dylan Basin, who's been the class of the field all race long. Drove up all the way from 20th to take the race lead away, and when he's had it, he's not giving it away one time. So good to see what the Ford could do. Try to hold on to this race lead, but fortunately, I think Dylan Basin is just a little bit too quick for anybody to kind of hold on here. I think we're going to need a mistake out of the 67 or something, you know, bad. Like, let's say we go green the rest of the way. We might be able to go green the rest of the way. If you did come down pit road, you might be able to make it. But I'm not sure. I'm going to say no because I assume if everybody can make it, they would have come down, took in their last set of tires potentially, and hoped for it to go green. But we'll have to see. The 4 on the inside, the 67 on the outside. Ford, Toyota, front row, and you'll see a Chevy lockout for that row too. As you see the 88 and the 77 going to be that fast 4. Be ready to go back to the Echo Park restart zone to 4. Kyle Williams leads us back to green. He's going to spin the tires. Dodson will wave. First person I want to look at is Dylan Basin here. Does he have a lot of damage to the front end of this car? Got some left front damage. He's also got some damage to the door of that machine. Now the question is, if you're Dylan, do you come down and take the damage here? I mean, I would. That's a lot of damage to that left front. I mean, that splitter is up in the air. If you're being realistic, right? I don't know how much the aero is going to affect that car, at least in a sim, but in real life, you have to come down and get that fixed if you want to be competitive. I mean, that left front splitter is up in the air. That's just going to really upset the way the car would handle it, at least realistically, right? If you're the 67, do you come down and take the damage? I mean, if I'm Dylan, you've got 50 laps to go here. I think you've got the car to drive through the field. I'd take the damage. Come down, take a set of tires. Hope for it to go green, but unfortunately, it hasn't gone green before. Is that the 67 will come down pit side. We'll drag the 77 with him. I don't mind what the 77's doing. He knows Dylan. Probably the guy to beat. If he can't beat him, might as well join him, right? And do what he's doing. Doing it a camera angle on this car. Might just have to go to the rear chase cam. Be on the nose cam. I can't really see it there. See the splitter already a little bit better already for that number 67 machine. I don't think he'll be able to get it all fixed though with how the damage looks. Actually saw a little bit of right front damage actually. See the right front pop out just a little bit, but still some splitter damage. Oh, maybe he does get it all fixed. That looks pretty good already. Look at that. Brand new car basically for that 67 machine. Probably within, I would say, 20 seconds left of damage, I would say. That car looks pretty spiffy, considering what just happened to it. There he goes. Off pit road. Back out. He'll come out P20, right where he qualified. We saw he's already been able to drive through the field before. Back in P20. Will he get off pit road in time? He will. He'll beat the pace car off from pit road and stay on the lead lap. Greg also fixing some damage as well. I didn't even see the 77 widths damage. He might have got caught up residually in that wreck caused by the 4 Kyle Williams. We've got a semi-decent new cast of characters, at least up here in this top 2. Rodney Roberts has been up here in the top 2 before, but I don't think we've seen this 22 up inside, you know, this front row here, but it will be a Chevy Ford front row. It'll be Rodney Roberts, Justin L. Johnson, Nick Johnson, back there in the 20, and Thomas Flynn makes his way back up inside this Fast Four. Remember, qualified on the front row. Fell back a little bit now, and inside that top 4 once again. But the pace car will pull down pit lane one more time, back into the Echo Park restart zone. It's going to be Rodney Roberts who leads us back to green here to start lap 91. Rodney with a good jump. Justin able to clear to keep that P2 position. Dylan Basie, you see him back there in the back 3, bottom of 3 back there to try to make up some track position. Now, this is the kind of conversation I do want to have, though. You know that Dylan's faster. You know that Dylan has the fresher tires. If I'm these guys, do you kind of communicate with each other, hey, do not race each other because you're just going to allow that 67 to get up even quicker than he would without us racing, right? Do you kind of communicate to everybody up here in this top 5 to top 10, do not race each other, because if you guys race each other, it's going to make it easier for the 67 to pass and get around you. You have to give yourself a shot to do it, and I think just being cordial and racing around each other, keeping the tires underneath you, is your only shot to potentially keep that 67 behind. And Dylan already inside the top 10. Now just made the pass on Stevenson for 9th. Be back here. Are they on the outside of the 1? Iskandar. Up to P8. Going underneath Jeff Weimer. P7. Jeff's going to hold it on there on that outside lane. If I'm these cars, you have to look. If you want the 67 to pass you, cannot give him the top. He's got the fresher tires. He might get a 2-for-1 here. If he plans the move right. Here we go. Bottom of 3. You gave him the top. You got 2-for-1 right there. Up to P5. Up to P6. Don't let him get the top here. If you see him behind you, run a lane higher. Force him to pass you on the bottom. So I'm struggling to make the passes on that bottom lane earlier. Do not let him jump up top. We're going to get to the quarter of the 24 of Flynn now. Side by side for P5. Here comes the 67. I mean, it's just so impressive because these guys are no slouches. These guys aren't, rookies. They're not, these guys are veterans here in iSNF Cup Series. They have, good I ratings. They have all that stuff, right? Like Thomas Flynn, 3K I rating. See the two up front, 3.5, 3K, right? You look at Dylan, 7,000 I rating for this driver. Now, I know I rating doesn't mean a whole lot when it comes to driver school because obviously Charles Roberson, 2,300, and he's a Cup Series champion, right? So, basing up the P4. Got a little ways to go to get up to Nick Johnson and Justin Johnson and the 88 here. But he's got, caution. Like maybe the 10 involved in another one here. We'll see what happened here. Oh, wow. This is in front of them. It looks like the 4. 10 of the culprit here. We'll go back to Kyle here in the back. See what happened to Kyle Williams in the Ford machine. We're getting used up a little bit by the 51. It looks like just racing here. Good hard racing. 4 coming down. The 51 coming up. It gets loose. Gets a bump by the 41. Nowhere the 40. I mean, it gets a bump by the 45. Nowhere that the 41 can go. I think that Stevens here in the 5. I don't know why his paint isn't loading tonight. And around we'll go to 4. And I think Manzo was just nowhere to go for him. We'll see what damage he got. You in the 10 machine. Yeah, just nowhere to go. Actually, this was kind of residual from this. Rhea Ferris up the track. Unfortunately, gets into the door of the 10. Down the 10 will go. Trying to get around the wreck, and unfortunately, those two just trying to go for the same spot. We'll see the 10 go around here after the wreck. So now, kind of the rules are reversed here. Dylan, well, does he stay out here, right? He's got 12 laps on these tires. Looks like he'll come down with the rest of the field here. He basically had to burn a set to get up here in the P4. And this is probably... Dylan might still have one set after this, but this could be his last set of tires. Fortunately, SCK doesn't really tell me how many tire sets everybody has left. At least if they do, I don't know how to find it, so... In the race off pit road, give it to the 22. Justin Johnson, look at that. Dylan Basin. Great stop out of that 67 team. He'll be up inside the top 2. Parker Strandrit. A good stop for him. Some of these guys, looks like this 42 took fuel only. The 22, the 67, looks like took 2 tires. Everybody else behind. 4 tires. Rodney Roberts. Charles Roberson, Thomas Flynn, Jeff Weimer, all these guys took 4. For the front 3, a little bit different. So fuel only and 2 tires for the top 3. And they hold on here for what? We'll be going green with 32 to go. So some familiar faces back up here towards the front. It'll be Justin Johnson who leads us back to green, but Dylan Basin works his way back up inside this top two. Obviously, we talked about the 42 with that bit strategy to take fuel only here. And the 88. Rodney Roberts going to run out that top four, and really the 88 on back with 4 fresh Goodyear tires going to be hungry to try to race down these two in front of them who had a little bit of a different strategy. It's going to be Justin Johnson, Dylan Basin leads us back to green here to start lap 103. A good jump out of the 22. Dylan Basin really defensive blocking there on that 88 to try to keep this P2 position away. I'm this 22. I would have, honestly, we've seen the snaking work here in the next gen. I would have tried to do that to keep Dylan Basin away because he's right there now. Once again, after the huge, draft back up to the back end of the 22. Dylan Basin looking bottom on this 22 machine. Justin Johnson going to have their momentum off the top. Going to clear the 67 for now. This is going to be two really talented drivers trying to race for this lead here. Caution will wave once again. Terrence Preston in the 7 machine. Second time he's gotten caught up in a wreck. Dumped by his teammate. That's Chris Bishop. Oh, man, and a huge hit to the inside wall there on those tires. That'll be a race over. He immediately toes the pit road. The caution will wave once again. Our 12th caution of the race. These caution laps are exactly what this 22 and the 67 need. And will kind of help mitigate the amount of laps that they have to hold on here with these two tires, I believe. That 88, that 11, Charles Roberson up inside the top 4 for the first time. These guys are going to be hungry. Charles has not had the best last couple races. Season 10 champion. The 18 wins. I believe he has the most wins out of any driver here in iSNF. So, been on a little bit of a dry run here, especially for, Carl's sake, right? Does have a little bit of front end damage though in that 11 machine. I'm interested to see how that will affect the way this car drives throughout the rest of the race here. We're under 30 to go now here in the race. But he lights off on the pace car, but he gets 2 by 2 once again. You'll see top 10 right there on the screen to your left. Once again, it's going to be Justin Johnson, Dylan Basin, your front two. You'll see that 22 go back inside the Echo Park restart zone. He'll lead us back to green. The start lap 108. Decent jump out of the 22. A better jump out of the 67, though. He's just getting help from the 11. Charles Oberson to get him back up going. But the 88, this time able to get a good jump. He's going to be side by side with the 67 for that P2 position. And 88's going to be aggressive here. He knows that 67's quick. Going to try to use up as much time as he can. Try to keep the 67 behind. He knows if he gets it, he knows the only shot he probably has at racing for this win is to get around the 67 to try to keep him back. The 67, Dylan Basin able to run that top side and run that defensive line to keep the 88 behind for now. Now it's time for him to go try to run down that 22. And look how much Dylan gains on the straights there just from the draft. So you're going to go up and run that top side. He's going to get a huge run down the front stretch. A little sideways out of the 22. That 67 creeping in slowly. Justin able to hold on for now. And the question is, can Dylan hold on? He's been running the stop side. Is he burning his stuff up? Trying to get back to the rear end of the 22. Does he know something we don't? Dylan, you know, being a, Coke Series talent driver, might know a little bit of, have something up his sleeve here that maybe a lot of these other drivers don't know about. But Johnson able to hold on for now. And it's been really consistently around this, 2 1/10 gap here. But here comes Dylan on the bottom. Trying to make the move here in 3 and 4. Not going to make it work. Justin going to have to drive a little bit defensively here to keep that 67 behind. Ooh, you see that? Had to. Oh, caution is out. About to say you saw that 67 lift big time there. Rhea Ferris, Steven Sear. Looks like he might have gotten it right here in the back. 4 wide. Oh man, that's just hard racing there. Take a look back and see. Kind of transponded here. Yeah, it just looks like a racing deal. You see Rhea come off the wall just a little bit. You see the 42 of Parker just come up just a little bit. They met in the middle. Fortunately, the 21 gets hooked down the track there. You see Steven Sear, a huge hit to the outside wall. That'll be race-ending damage for him. Rhea hits it up into the outside wall here. I don't think anybody else gets into it. We'll see if this 23 can navigate safely through this wreck. Looks like he'll actually almost try to stop on track. See him come up into the screen here. Yeah, good job getting around. See Phil Manzo getting around as well, but huge hit in the back there for those couple of cars. Dylan Basin takes the hard left turn down Perry Road. He'll take 4 fresh tires here with 20 to go. And this has to be his last set. Charles Robertson, you'll see in the 4 shot. Coming down pit side. He'll probably take some damage while he's down here. We'll see Basin. First car out of pit road. We'll see if Charles decides to sit down here and take the damage. I think that's the smartest thing that he can do. No, he'll. I think the car drives well enough that he doesn't need to take. You see that dimple on the front end. Jeff Weimer close behind him. See the 3rd car out of pit road. See, if I'm the rest of the field now, I'm a little scared, right? 19 to go. Dylan Basin has the freshest tires. We've seen him drive through the field. Right? This is kind of a win-win for Basin, I feel like, because we're in that range now to where if we even go 10 laps, right, and we get a caution, it's not that many laps. Like, let's say we go 10 laps, we get a caution with 9 to go. We'll get about, 3 to 4 pace laps. We'll be going to green with 5 to go. And regardless of, 10 lap older tires, I think Dylan has the talent to hold on to this race lead if he does cycle to the front with everybody else. But honestly, I don't think that would happen. The only people I could see coming down pit road, if we get like a 9 to go, if we get like a 5 to go restart, is some guys in the back who would have to drive their way through the field. I don't see anybody up here. Roberts, Justin Johnson, Nicholas Johnson, Thomas Flynn. I don't see any of these guys coming down pit road again. I think they told their pit crew guys, hey, start packing up the trailer, like, because we're not going to need you guys for the rest of the race. It's going to be a matter of fact of can Dylan Basin drive his way through the field with 18, now 17, in 17 laps, right? And I think he can. He's going to be starting back there in P9, I believe. He's got only 9 cars to get to the front. And he's got the freshest tires. Not by a large margin, right? Like, I would say 15. I would say maybe 7 or 8 lap fresher tires. I mean, he technically pitted 15 laps after everybody. But we've, had, what, 3 cautions now? So I would say he's got probably 5 lap fresher tires. Looks like they will delay the caution as well. I would have loved to gone, high velocity TV side by side with you guys so we could, show some love their iRacing and what they've done for the network and everything else. But we haven't really had a long enough green flag run to, go to commercial yet. So, and obviously with 17 to go, we're not going to commercial at all. Unless we get another full course caution. We might have to finally be forced to throw the towel in, but no, honestly, probably not. I mean, we're 17 to go. We're definitely going to have to go to a commercial break before we talk to your top 3 and start your post-race show here from Las Vegas. So it's going to be interesting. Can Dylan Basin drive through the field here with slightly fresher tires? Coming to 16 to go. Well, before Chevy front row. Justin Johnson takes the point once again after deciding to stay out. I'll give the P2 spot to Rodney Roberts to that 88 Trackhouse machine. But back into the Echo Park restart zone. Justin Johnson with another decent jump. We ready to go across the stripe. 16 to go from Las Vegas. Good jump by the 22. Nicholas Johnson side by side with the 88. They try to clear for that P2 position. Not going to make it happen. Dylan Basin making moves in the back up to the P6 spot already. Stuck behind the 2. That's Franz. Filling in for Ron Gonzalez. Mark on vacation right now. Can make this tonight's race, but look at Dylan. Bottom of 3. Almost bottom of 4. 6 to 7 trying to make moves here with 15 to go. Franz kind of cuts his nose off there. Dylan trying to be patient with this 2 machine. But he's got plenty of time. 14 laps. Freshest tires back there at P7. Oh, the 2 in the outside wall. Brown's going to block him again. Oh, car loose. That's Mike Iskandar. Into the grass. He'll save it. We'll stay green. Don't base it up to P5. Only a second behind these cars in front. We'll see him go up and run the top. This is his favorite place to run to make up time. Oh, contact between the 24 and the 88. You gotta block that top a few. These guys in front. You gotta get up there and block that run. There you go. Force him to lift. Force him to back out of this. Dylan Basing going to be side by side with the 88. Going to clear the 88. He's going to do it, but 88 with a crossover. When he up there trying to block this 67. Technically, these guys are Lions teammates here. 10 to go. What does he do with the 67 machine? The 67 is going to get to the outside. Outside. He's going to clear the 20. Justin Johnson might be a sitting duck here. Five-lap pressure tires, might as well make it 20-lap pressure tires. This 67 is on rails right now and closing in on your leader very, very quickly here. 9 to go, coming to 8 to go here as we cross the line. What can Justin Johnson do to keep this 67 behind him? I would just try to save as much as you can. And then you push when he gets to you, right? You still have a little bit of a cushion. 3. Now back going into 2/10 of a second here. Then with 7 to go. Dylan going to run the top. He's going to have a huge run down the front stretch. And they kind of even out there. going across the stripe here, but Dylan with a huge run there, running that middle line. What could this 22 do to keep this 67 behind him? The 22 will run the top. The 67 runs the bottom. And now look at that. Dylan Basin is there. All Justin could do is try to dirty air block him and dirty air grief the 67. That's all he could do is try to put his car where he thinks that 67 is going to go. I don't mind him running the bottom here in 3 and 4. He's done a good job here. And you see he actually pulls a little bit of a gap on the 67. Going to 5 to go here from Las Vegas. Dylan's going to run that higher side here. I'm going to get a run off the corner. Dylan just trying to set him up. He's going to look inside of the 22. Dylan Basin side by side with Justin Johnson. Justin will have the run off the top, but not enough to clear this 67 side by side at the line. Give it to the 22. Give it to Basin. Dylan Basin going to drive it in the corner. He should clear the 22. 22 trying to air grief. Not going to make it work. Dylan Basin will clear for the race lead. Does Justin have anything for Basin here in the closing laps? Going to get it within 2 tenths here. Good corner out of the 22. He'll get it within 1 tenth. 15, 14, 13. Right there at the back bumper of the 67. Two to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 to go for Dylan Basin. Does Justin Johnson have anything? Justin having to chase this car up the track here. But Dylan doing a good job giving him this 30 air as we hit the white flag for Dylan Basin. White flag in the air for the Sin City 200. Dylan Basin got to take 4 more corners to win his first season, to win his first race here, season 11. What a performance out of this 22 of Justin Johnson. It's not going to be enough to hold back this 67. Dylan Basin, go ahead and give it to him. He's going to win here at Las Vegas. And man, I gotta feel you gotta feel for that 22. It's been so close so many times this season to getting a win. And look at that, Thomas Flynn once again somehow gets himself into a podium spot. How does he keep doing this? Dylan Basin, a one-off here. He'll win here from Las Vegas. Bringing it down here on the front stretch for you fans at home. Go ahead and give a round of applause to Dylan Basin. What a drive through the field here. Started back there, I believe in P10. Drove his way through the field. Got around the 22 there with what, 2 to go. Never looked back. John forced it down the front stretch here. Good look at burn outside of the 67. There goes the engine. Here goes the car. We are going to take our first and only commercial break here, and we'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors here. For the post-race show, we'll talk to your top 3 finishers tonight from Las Vegas and round out the rest of the broadcast here to end week 9 here for the iSNF Cup Series. So we'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We say hello and welcome you back here to the post-race show here for the week 9 here for season 11 of the iSNF Cup Series here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We just saw Dylan Basin, and what a performance to come back to the field to get his first win of the season here in that number 67 machine. Let's go ahead and talk to the number 67, Dylan Basin up here in the HVTV booth. Hey Dylan, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your first win here in season 11 here from Las Vegas. Obviously, when we saw your name on the roster for tonight's race, we knew you were pretty well a good race favorite to come here and get a win here tonight. But walk us through your race. Walk us through, especially, that last, what was it, 10, 15 lap run to get your way up towards the front again.
Yeah, honestly, I had to make sure I made quick work of the guys I had to pass before I got to Justin because, tires do kind of start to equal out a lot quicker than you would expect in this combo. And I knew I needed to get up front as soon as possible to take advantage of the tires. And the quicker I got in clean air, the better. And fortunately, we were able to do that. It was tough to run that Justin for a little bit until I found some grip in the third and fourth lanes at 1 and 2. And he wasn't really running up there. He was comfortable on the bottom, so it made it easier for me. And then had to pull a little bit of a slide job, but it worked out.
Yeah, we noticed you running up that top side, especially to make passes. Was it just a little bit easier to keep the momentum up there on the top versus on the bottom? We saw you try to, make the bottom work a couple times. Was it just a little bit harder with guys pinching you down there to, make those passes work there and make them quickly like you needed to?
Yeah, like the bottom's fine when you're in clean air, but when you're behind, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, it's everyone's trying to run the bottom or the middle, and you can't like you just it's such a tight combo already. Like the setup is just naturally tight, and that's just the way the track is too. So obviously, you don't want to follow everybody down there and kind of just hold yourself back there. So I was just searching for like the lanes nobody was in. Like I saw a few guys venture up a little bit up from the second lane, but I feel like I was really the only one that was going up to that third and fourth lane, maximizing it. They gave me all the clean air I needed and the runs. So yeah, I just preferred having the clean air rather than trying to save tires in the bottom and whatnot.
No, I definitely agree. I pointed out a couple times that you were kind of the only guy who was going up there and really ripping the fence there, trying to make up spots there at the start there. And coming back to that this whole pit strategy thing, we saw you kind of make that last minute ditch move down pit road to take the tires there with 15 to go. Was that always kind of a plan that if you got into that range that you would go down and try to drive your way back up through the field with how strong you were tonight?
Yeah, I figured if a yellow would come out, it depended on like how early or how late. Like right there, it was kind of in the sweet spot where I was like, okay, if I pit now, I have enough time. And then if there's a wreck of 10 laps and they take tires, I was confident enough that I would be able to hold on to my older tires in the clean air and whatnot. So yeah, I was trying to bait Justin to not pit, so I made it look like I wasn't pitting, and then hooked the hardest left I've ever hooked at pit road entry, and it worked. Um, and after that, was really just trying to get to the field as fast as I could.
Well, you obviously did a fantastic job doing that. Obviously, caught Justin with what 2 or 3 to go, and had a good run with him, and then finally got around there with that slide job that you talked about earlier in the interview. But congratulations on your first win of the season, and I want to talk to you about this as well. Obviously, Rhea talked to me about this as kind of a one-off. Was Vegas like it was something you picked out, or was just kind of a spur of the moment thing for tonight?
I usually work pretty late on Saturdays, and like no matter how many times I want to run a race, I can't because I'm not home in time. But today, I got off at a decent time. I got home, was able to hop in the session and do the race. So usually, like if I have the app more often, you'll probably see me sub for someone every time I get off in time. But when it comes to like a full time basis, I can't confidently say I would be able to make it every time. So I just figured I'd come in here and sub for whatever races I can make.
Well, we look forward to you coming and racing with us here in the iSNF Cup Series some more often. So congratulations for first of all on your first win. And before we let you go, Dylan, anybody you want to thank for this win tonight here from Las Vegas?
I just thank the people and the admins that put on this league, and thank you, especially for doing the broadcast booth. I thank the guys at Ryko Performance for all the help and advice they've given me throughout the past few months. I feel like every week I learn more for them, so couldn't say thanks enough.
Well, we appreciate your time up here in the booth, Dylan. Once again, congratulations on your win tonight, and hopefully we can talk to you some more up here in the booth.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good rest of the night.
You too.
Dylan Basin will come home victorious here from Las Vegas in a pretty dominating fashion. We knew coming in here that it was probably gonna come out that way, but obviously, it was a little bit closer than we expected with the way he planned out that race to take the tires late and drive through the field. Um, actually had to run for his money there with the 22. And speaking of the 22, let's go ahead and talk to your runner-up finisher tonight, Justin Johnson, in the number 22 machine, racer for Team Penske. Hey, Justin, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. We got a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, P2 once again for you and this whole 22 team. I think too many laps for that for you to hold off that 67 with those fresh tires. But walk us through your night. Walk us through what was going through your head those last couple of restarts.
Yeah, the last time we pit, I ended up taking two, and I was really hoping that I could just probably try to stay out in front of, the field. Maybe Basin gets by me, but honestly, a P2 then would have been fine. We had a few yellows come out, and then the last yellow, he pit for tires, and I was debating pitting for tires there, and I got a little nervous when I saw there was only 7 cars, 8 cars that stayed out. But I don't think I could have did that last run there better. I was hoping everyone else did their job and held them up a little bit more, but just too many laps. Needed like 3, 4 less, and I think we would have had something. But it is what it is.
Obviously, a good finish for you and this whole 22 team, and I feel like that's been kind of like your motto today, this whole season, right? Haven't been able to crack, into victory lane yet, but I've been consistently up here inside the podium spot. We've talked to you a couple times here after the races tonight, and it's gotten you a good spot in the points, which is really all you need to do here with the chase style format. But walking us through that, is there kind of a new mindset with the playoffs being out here and now the chase being the thing here for the ISNF Cup Series?
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right, and that has been the mindset the whole season. Just the best finishes we can get. A little disappointed about last week and the last lap wreck because that was definitely their second or third there. But besides that, I think it's been top 10 finishes the whole year, maybe an 11th. But just trying to stay consistent. I think it definitely is working to my favor. It doesn't help when Thomas Flynn is finishing third and fourth every race, but we're trying. So, maybe he has a bad race. We can capitalize on that. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Just finish well. And I think that's honestly all you can do with this format and building up to the format.
I definitely agree, and you've done a good job of it. Like I said, we've talked to you a couple times, here in the booth, and coming into next week. Obviously Darlington, we know you're really good at these mile and a halfs, but Darlington's next week. We have the new aero package. We also have more horsepower here in these next gen machines. Is there kind of a plan of attack going into Darlington with kind of this unknown, kind of new package that we get here at Darlington next week?
I mean, same deal. I really, really like Darlington, so I hope it goes out in my favor. Uh, Hopefully, don't finish P2 again, but I wouldn't be upset at another P2 finish. So just gotta maximize the day. That's been the model the whole season. So just hopefully another good finish. Love that track. Gonna be a fun one, I think.
I definitely agree, and I look forward to getting to call the race up here in the booth. With just all the new changes, it's gonna be interesting to see how potentially the track changes, the cars change as we look forward into next week. But once again, Justin, congratulations on another really good run tonight here from Vegas. Before I let you go, anybody you want to thank or shout out for tonight's performance here from Las Vegas?
Of course, I want to thank everyone at Team Penske. Of course, Rhea, Cody, unfortunately couldn't finish the race. Mark didn't show up, but who we had in the two today, he did his job as well. Everyone, honestly, just they're always helpful, always keeping it lighthearted and giving me motivation throughout the race. So shout out to all those guys. They definitely keep me coming back.
Gotta love the good teammates here. And keeping you moving at least and giving you a good spot here in the points. But once again, congratulations on your P2. We appreciate you coming up here and talking to us up here in the booth, and hopefully we can continue to talk to you up here in the podium spots.
Hopefully so. Thank you for having me.
Justin Johnson will come home P2, and we'll go ahead and talk to you once again. I don't know how he keeps coming up here and getting these podiums, but Thomas Flynn sneaks into another P3 position. Let's go ahead and talk to the driver of the 24. Hey, Thomas, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, another podium position for you. It just seems like you keep sneaking your way up inside this top three every week, and we get to talk to you almost every week here. But walk us through your race. Walk us through, what got you up here inside this podium spot.
Yeah, it was a interesting race. Kind of knew coming in, hot track, got to keep your tires under you, and that's what I tried to do, and kind of worked out for the best, and squeezed my way up into P3. So another good week.
Yeah, obviously you came down and um no, so you talk about the tires and stuff, and obviously, I've run in here with you guys before. In Vegas, kind of one of those tracks that you really have to push the car a whole lot. There's not really a whole lot of lifting, at least from when I was racing here last. How hard is it to kind of like save your stuff and keep going without, losing a bunch of time here?
Um, I mean, it's a little tricky. You kind of have to live with people trying to gun past you and killing their tires, and just realizing that you'll get them on the back end, and I think that was my plan going into it, and it worked out pretty well. But yeah,
I definitely agree. This is kind of what you've always been good at here, and really wherever we go is just saving your equipment, being here at the end. Obviously, not the flashiest race for you, but that you don't need to be flashy. You're leading the points. You need to come out here and continue to get good finishes, and obviously coming home P3 tonight definitely going to help with the points coming into next week.
yeah, for sure. Just actually won't be here next week. I'll have to use a provisional, so I guess someone else will have a spot in the top five. Um, but no, it's been a good season so far. We're just trying to keep doing the same thing every week, and yeah,
Well, definitely a good run for you in this whole 24 team. Really a good run for all of your teammates. They really qualified up front and running up front, at least at the beginning of the race. And um, really good job out of all those Hendrick cars for tonight's race. But once again, congratulations to you, Thomas. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out, thank, or appreciate here for this run tonight from Las Vegas?
you just said it, the Hendrick guys, man. They're always fun to race with them, and uh, miss it next week. But yeah, it's gonna be a good fun rest of the season.
Well, we appreciate your time up here in the booth, and we appreciate you coming down and talking to us here. Um, Once again, congratulations on another podium spot for you and this whole 24 team. We look forward to maybe talking to you not next week at Darlington, but the week after if you can continue this momentum up. And like I said, we hope to talk to you sooner or later back up here in the HVTV booth.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. You doing the broadcast, and also Ria for putting this whole thing on. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your time up here in the booth, and enjoy your week off, and hopefully we can talk to you soon.
Thanks to you, Christian.
Thomas Flynn will come home P3 here from Darlington, and yeah, I mean, once again, I always appreciate these drivers who are always kind of sneaky and they make their way through the field, and they weren't the flashiest. I mean, he wasn't the flashiest driver tonight. Obviously, he qualified P2 right behind, I believe it was Chris Otto who ended up getting caught up in a couple of wrecks tonight, but um, qualified really well and just kind of put himself in a spot to run inside the top 5, the top 10 all race long, and was able to come home with the P3 finish. But let's go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results for tonight's race and see where all your favorite drivers finished tonight here from Las Vegas. See here for the Sin City 200, we talked to your top 3 finishers: Dylan Basin, Justin Johnson, Thomas Flynn in the 24. You'll see Craig Lautenslager had a good run for him all throughout the race here. He'll come on P4. Rodney Roberts, really good strong run for him. Back there in P5, P6 for Nicholas Johnson. He continues to campaign to potentially race for a championship today. Charles Robinson, a good bounce back for him in the 11 team. Franz, subbing for Mark Gonzalez in the 2, did a really good job getting some points for that whole 2 team, as well as Fabricio, getting a good finish for Joey Maines in that 48, who is actually at the real race here for the Las Vegas race here. Tomorrow, Sunday afternoon. Jeff Weimer comes home P10, good top 10 finish for him in that number 60 team. Eugene Thorne, P11. Scott Trusty back there in P12. Rhea Ferris comes home with a P13, good finish for her. Mike Iskandar, P14. Rounding out the, the last car on the lead lap, Bob Wyckoff in the 41 got caught up in a couple of wrecks, so good recovery for him. Come home with the top 15. Bill Manzo on his, comeback here into the iSNF Cup Series after some health scares. P16, good solid run for him. First car lap down, but we'll come home P16. 17th and 18th, we'll go to Jason Steptoe, Blake Hollett, 4 laps down and 19 laps down, respectively. See up there. Blake Hollett, we talked about him, P18. Steven Sear back there, P19. 20 laps down, we saw him get caught up in a big wreck there towards the end. Parker Stringer in the 42. It's had a couple good runs going for him. Not the finish he wants today. Kyle Williams back there in P21. Chris Bishop, huge wreck for him, as well as Terrence Preston, those 2 Spire cars really tore up today. Eric Jorgensen back there in P24. Chris Otto, we saw him got caught up in a record about halfway through the race there. P25, Mark Roberg, P26. Will Austin back there in P27. Nick Cobb, Emily Urias, John Hopley, Cody Meadows, David Anderson, Brian Treadwell, Shane Johnson round out the field here from Las Vegas. And obviously, these drivers back here outside the top 20. Not the finishers that these drivers want, especially drivers like Cody Meadows. Emily Urias needed a good finish to try to climb her way through the field. Same with Will Austin. Chris Otto that'll be a big hit in the points for him. So, but that is your unofficial results here from Las Vegas, and continue your post race show. And what a race! Obviously, we saw Dylan Basin come out here, and we knew he was going to be a favorite coming into Las Vegas. He's always a favorite, really, anywhere we go here in the iSNF Cup Series. He's just so dang quick. He's so consistent. He knows what he's doing. So congratulations to Dylan on the win. But some really solid runs. Some really, I wish we had a long run to see how the tires went out. Obviously, we did get that one long green flag run where we saw some drivers start to fade back a little bit at the start of the race. But after that, I just feel like we couldn't consistently stay green enough with the stage cautions on top of the additional cautions we had tonight to, keep it green, keep it, interesting. But, that's how it is sometimes at Las Vegas. It's a difficult track to, save and be passive with. You're almost flat out throughout the whole track here. It's a very unique track compared to really any other mile and a half we go to, where you're really pushing the whole time, and you kind of have to. If you try to save, you got to be really cautious around the drivers around you, because it's really easy to just push and not even realize it because of how much you have to stay in the gas here with how this track works out now with this new next gen car. So, but it was definitely a fun race to call up in the booth. Once again, congratulations to Dylan Basin on his first win here in season 11. We look forward to him coming and making some more part-time starts here for the iSNF Cup Series. But once again, my name was Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's broadcast here for week 9 of the iSNF Cup Series, season 11. We appreciate everybody coming on and watching the broadcast. We appreciate everybody coming in and tuning in and typing in the chat. We'll appreciate the love and support. If you're new to the channel, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button over here on the High Velocity TV YouTube channel, or if you're watching over at Twitch, over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13, we'd appreciate a follow over there as well. But I got really nothing else for you guys. I'd really appreciate if you guys would drop a like on the broadcast, share the broadcast with friends and family, so we can continue to grow the channel, grow the network, and potentially even get more opportunities to broadcast more leagues, or just broadcast races in general, right? If you guys are looking for another league or maybe something else, right, for us to do some work for you guys, make sure to email us at hvtvbroadcasting@aol.com. Or if you have me on Discord, if you're in a mutual server with me, feel free to just DM me. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. I need to start linking the High Velocity TV Discord down below, so you guys can, get a hold of me a little bit easier on Discord, instead of having to find the Discord server that I'm in, or finding someone that knows me to get a hold of me. I should start actually posting that down in the description below, so you guys can just click join the HVTV Discord and join the family over there as well. But we appreciate everybody coming out, watching the broadcast tonight, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the Saturday. Enjoy the Xfinity race. The O'Reilly race, if it's still going on. I don't know if it's ended or not yet, but if not, enjoy the Cup race tomorrow as they get ready to go here and run some laps here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll see you next Thursday for the Prestige Cup Series, and Friday we'll be back here for the AWC Pro Series, and Saturday we'll be right back here at Darlington for to continue season 11 for the iSNF Cup Series for week 10 at Darlington. But once again, I appreciate everybody coming out and watching the broadcast tonight. Hope everybody has a good rest of their Saturday. Hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend. We'll see you guys soon.